weren't gas prices going up anyway because of post-pandemic supply chain issues?
Well, I think there's no question that, as we have seen, and outside analysts have conveyed this as well, the increase in the anticipated continued increase, which is, I think, what some of your colleagues were asking about, that is a direct result of the invasion of Ukraine.
Peter, they halted new oil and gas.
Let me give you the facts here, and I know that can be inconvenient, but I think they're important in this moment.
Right now, Russia's responsible.
There was an anticipation of that. That was factored in as gas prices have gone up.
Welcome back to the show. So glad that you found my backup for Anna's Thoughts and Musical Parodies here at Anna Speaks Out. Thanks for being here. If you've been here for a little while and you've been enjoying what you've been seeing, I would like to invite you to check out the merch store or the other links that I have in the description, like PayPal and my Diaper Fund. I have a baby on the way, and of course I don't expect anything, but it would be very appreciated. It is kind of a lot of work to put all this stuff together, so if you feel so inclined, I would really appreciate it. So just yesterday, March 8th, 2022, former Vice President Joseph Biden announced a ban on Russian energy imports. The U.S. will ban Russian oil, natural gas, and coal imports as part of the admin's response to Russian President Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine.
Russia's responsible.
Also, I just can't get over how funny he looks in this picture because the two microphones look like a part of his outfit to me, and it makes his head look disproportionately small. I don't know, it just kind of makes me laugh. But here's a look from AAA gas prices on how the national average cost of gasoline has risen over the past month in the U.S. from $3.45 per gallon a month ago to $4.17 a gallon now. So since gas prices have been steadily rising over the past month pretty dramatically, and the Biden administration just decided to stop purchasing fuel from Russia yesterday, I don't really see how all of that can be attributed to being Russia's fault. Do you? Also, according to The Guardian, more than 2 million innocent civilians have already fled Ukraine since the war started, so they're being taken care of in the appropriate manner like they should be. These people are being taken in by their neighboring European countries, particularly Poland, such as is the way that it should go. So if they are already being taken care of as best that they can be, why should the administration here be deciding and factoring in having our people suffer more economically over a war that doesn't even involve us? Let's see some more of what our friend Jen Psaki has to say about this.
So you say that you're going to do everything that you can to reduce the impact that high gas prices have on Americans. We're asking other countries to think about maybe pumping more oil. Why not just do it here?
Well, to be very clear, federal policies are not limiting the supplies of oil and gas. Let me finish.
I'm going to let you finish in a minute, Jen, but first, let's take a trip down memory lane to the first video I ever made about former Vice President Joseph Biden after we were told the results of the 2020 election.
We remain in the midst of one of the worst economic and job crises in modern history. But it doesn't have to stay that way. If we act now, we can begin to regain momentum and start to build back a better future.
Very interesting. Let's see how the people in, say, Wisconsin and Colorado are faring with these Build Back Better solutions so far.
On Joe Biden's first day in office, he killed thousands of American jobs. Joe Biden killed hundreds of Wisconsin jobs.
We're in a crisis.
This executive order included temporary bans on any new leases or permits for drilling on federal lands.
Let me finish.
An executive order.
We are one of the largest producers with a strong domestic oil and gas industry. We have actually produced more oil. It is at record numbers, and we will continue to produce more oil.
Here's what somebody who I came across in the comment section of this video on YouTube, who works in the oil industry for the last 7 years, I believe, had to say about this comment that she just made. The wells had already been leased and ready to drill/complete, but they just never got done because of the virus. Around July 2021, companies finally brought back more employees, so production continued. So this whole energy was produced more during Biden is, I hate to say it, correct, but with an asterisk. A lot of them. Work was secured during Trump, but thanks to the government mandates, companies were handcuffed with rules and testing, so that's why the oil field dipped down from late March/April 2020 till the beginning of the summer 2021. Now it's blowing and going, but has zero to do with Biden. So there's some perspective on that from somebody in the know. It looks like this administration and their spokeswoman is kind of twisting the information as per the usual. As you're about to see, Bloomberg actually agrees with that as well.
So the suggestion that we are not allowing companies to drill is inaccurate.
The CEO of the American Petroleum Institute says there's a fundamental misunderstanding of the administration as to how the process actually works. Just because you have a lease doesn't mean there's actually oil and gas in that lease. And there has to be a lot of development that occurs between the leasing and then ultimately permitting for that acreage to be productive. I think that they're purposefully misusing the facts here to advantage their position.
Would President Biden rescind his executive order that halts new oil and natural gas leases on public lands?
Well, 90% of them happen on private lands, as I'm sure you know, and there are 9,000 unused approved drilling permits. So I would suggest you ask the oil companies why they're not using those if there's a desire to drill more.
Which is what we just discussed. So yeah, she's either ignorant or just purposefully misleading.
Would President Biden ever undo his executive order that stopped the construction of the Keystone XL pipeline?
Are you suggesting that would solve the gas prices issue?
Well, do you think that that would maybe affect prices faster than getting the whole country off of fossil fuels?
I actually don't think it would. The Keystone was not an oil field. It's a pipeline. Yeah. Also, the oil is continuing to flow in just through other means. But if we're looking to the future and what we can do to prevent this from being a challenge in future crises, the best thing we can do is reduce our dependence on fossil fuels and foreign oil, because that will help us have a reliable source of energy so that we're not worried about gas prices going up because of the whims of a foreign dictator.
Right, and you guys think that asking Saudi Arabia or Venezuela or Iran is reducing our dependence on foreign oil?
Mic drop. Thank you again so much for being here today. Since you liked the video enough to make it all the way to the end, don't forget to click the thumbs up and share with somebody else who would also find it interesting. Leave your comments below and we'll all have a conversation. If you really enjoyed it, don't forget to check out the link in the description for several different ways that you can support. Have a wonderful night, afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time zone you're in. And I will see you next time. Bye.
9,000 approved drilling permits that are not being used. And there are 9,000 unused approved drilling permits. And again, right now there are 9,000 unused approved permits to drill onshore. So I think you're misidentifying what the actual issue is.